I will start ahead. My name is Eva Wackenreuther. You already introduced me, and I work for the Austrian public broadcaster ORF. And more specifically, I work for ORF de Facto, which is the verification desk, which helps journalists in all over the newsrooms who are maybe unsure if something is real or not. They can come to us for more insights. But we are also responsible for reporting on this information, and this is the reason why I'm talking to you today. So let's dive right into it. What was our research? We looked into AI clones promoting health supplements, and we sent them off to a laboratory to find out more. You probably all know these scam postings on Facebook advertising pills and other
Eva,
dubious
just
stuff.
in case, we are still seeing the first slide of your presentation. Okay.
Yeah, that's all right. I just wanted to give a short intro. Because you probably all know these scam postings on Facebook, advertising pills and dubious stuff with AI videos. So we dug deeper into one of these videos and the network behind, and here's what we found. As you can see, this is a coordinated. This is a coordinated international attempt to sell pills. We found videos on Facebook in several different languages, from German to French, from Italian to Czech, from English to Hungarian. They all work in the same exact way, following the same exact script. It's always a known and trusted journalist with an outrageous, emotionally triggering news. In the example of this scam, allegedly the vaccine against COVID has some terrible side effects that were just discovered now, and they affect especially older people. But this, according to these fakes at least, gladly can be prevented by taking some expensive pills against it. All of these announcements are word for word exactly the same across all these languages, and their goal is always to sell overpriced food supplements to an older audience, and they do this through a bot network, and they try to hide this with special cloaking techniques. So let's get into the network behind it. We found several indications that this was pushed by a bots as a service network. The accounts pushing it were not behaving like normal human accounts, and we can see this from 3 different examples. You can see it on the right hand side, where I screenshotted a few examples of accounts that pushed it, and they all advertised one of 2 games on Google Play Store. They all had the same profile picture of a beautiful young Asian woman at some point in June 2023, and they all registered in the Meta ad library at the same time in December 2022. This is very likely because bot networks can be hired like a service, and this one might have been in use even for other ads and maybe even scams before our health scam got active. The size of the whole market for this can be shown that this is a huge business model as well. After finding the very first videos, we teamed up with the Austrian Institute for Applied Telecommunication, for short ÖIAT. I will mention them a bit later on as well, so keep that name in mind. And they did further analysis of the market and documented a huge scam network operating on Meta. Just similar to our videos, they found 4,632 similar problematic ads in about half of a year time span. And they all operated in a similar way and were shown to more than 21 million people in Europe, especially targeted to Austria and Germany. And this market works partly because of some clever techniques for hiding it. I haven't told you earlier, but at very first glance, when we saw these videos, we were actually a bit stunned how these postings even generate money. Because the health expert in the video, they mention a magical pill, but there was no link or anything similar to be seen anywhere in the posting where we could actually spend our money. Also, when we looked at the posts in Meta's ad library, at first glance, there were no links to any magic pills to spend our money, and we only found random ads, like here, for example, for socks. So in this case, you can see the version history on the very bottom, where the yellow arrow is. And you can see that there was a version with a dark sock, another dark sock, then our AI scam, a white sock, and then again dark socks to be sold. So as one cybersecurity expert worded it to us, it's a constant game of cat and mouse, and usually the cat loses because this strategy can be changed very, very quickly. And the second technique that they used is called cloaking. It's a deliberate technique that shows different links to different groups of people. So in our case, all the target audience that came directly from the scam link got redirected to a website to order via phone. And everyone else, for example, me, Facebook moderation, everyone else coming from a slightly different link gets redirected to a very boring AI-generated website with no offers to sell or buy anything. The ÖIAT, the institute I mentioned earlier, still managed to find some active posts with active links. And this way, they could order the products, document the whole ordering process, and also then send the products into chemical analysis. The ordering process turned up the pressure even more on the targeted audience because it was often done by phone. So instead of the just made up emotional warnings and the gray zone promises we saw on Facebook, once people were on the phone, they got even more dangerous promises, like these supplements being able to replace all medication that people are currently taking. So, for example, people can get rid of their diabetes medication. This was, of course, particularly concerning, as most of the ads on Facebook are specifically targeted to an older audience, which is more likely of suffering from pre-existing conditions. And in the next step, they then analyzed the components of these advertised pills. We couldn't detect any toxic ingredients, but the components were also not helpful in treating anything they advertised. The analyzed products contained, for example, a dot of just ordinary cumin spice. That was basically just sold at very high prices. And on the package, the different intake recommendations and information about the amount of each ingredient was very varying. So, for example, one capsule of in total 300 milligram of weight was advertised to contain 500 milligram of active ingredient. So, of course, it's impossible to have more active ingredient than overall weight. So, all of these varying intake recommendation and inconsistent labeling would be very harmful, especially if it would actually contain any active ingredient. We also reached out to the Estonian company that we suspect to be behind this scam. They argued that their products are also being distributed by resellers that are like posing in their name, so I won't name them publicly here in this forum. And the other reason why this works is because Meta and other platforms are not very efficient in removing such scams. This is also because it's not just simply not in their interest to do so. There are documents obtained by Reuters last year that show that Meta projected around 10% of its whole 2024 revenue just from ads for scams and banned goods. And this is not a sole thing. It was also underlined by another test that we did together with ÖIAT. In the European Union, there are so-called trusted flaggers. These are organizations which, under the Digital Services Act, should theoretically get fast lane access in reporting problematic content. So when an organization like ÖIAT, who is a trusted flagger, complains about a posting against Meta's rules, it should be prioritized over, for example, me as a private person flagging the problematic post. And so what ÖIAT did was to flag 110 accounts responsible for these fraudulent medical ads. And Meta did indeed respond, even within the 2 days they are required to do, but they stated that it could not determine which specific ads had been reported. Meta, in this case, wants reports of posts and not just pages or accounts. So this response fails a bit to recognize that the pages themselves are fraudulent and not only one specific posting that is published. Some of these pages ran hundreds of dubious ads, and they themselves often already constitute copyright or trademark infringements because they use logos or AI images of people that don't belong to them. And there's another problem with that. When you are a trusted flagger and you want to report anything fraudulent or problematic, there is a reporting limit of 20 URLs per report. So the task really gets virtually impossible to manage. It would take forever for thousands and thousands of ads that we found to not batch report them, but file an individual report for each posting because the page or account cannot be reported the same way. And as a consequence, a big part of the affected profiles remained online even after they flagged it. So to conclude, while our investigation drew a lot of public interest, also affected people and institutions all reacted, the core problem really remains that it is really ridiculously easy to create and distribute these scams, and the chances of actually hard consequences stay very low. Thanks a lot for your time. I tried to be super quick because we're running a bit behind. So if you have any follow-up questions or any other inquiries of any sort, please don't hesitate to reach out either via these contact possibilities you can see here, or write them in the chat directly. I will stick around to monitor of any questions that you might have. Thanks a lot.